All right, let's dive right in. Back in 2010, things were pretty politically charged, and Bill O'Reilly released a book called Pinheads and Patriots. It basically sorted everyone in America into one of two camps. Today, we're going to break down that exact framework he used to look at the country during the first couple of years of the Obama administration. The entire book really boils down to this one idea right here. O'Reilly's whole argument is that, at the end of the day, there are only two types of people: those who are all about me first, and those whose main goal is to take care of others. It's a really simple, really stark split, and it's the core idea we're going to unpack. So, what was this whole framework really for? Well, O'Reilly saw it as his way to analyze America during what he called a time of massive change. Think of it like a tool for weighing a person's actions and then sorting them into one of two boxes. You're either a patriot or you're a pinhead. Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. This framework has nothing to do with how smart you are. The book is super clear on this point, saying some very intelligent people can be pinheads. It all comes down to your behavior, to the choices you make. You could totally do something pinheaded one day and then turn around and do something patriotic the next. Okay, so to really get what he's talking about, we've got to dig into the actual definitions. What exactly did O'Reilly mean when he used these two very loaded terms? Let's break them down. First up, the patriot. O'Reilly actually borrows this definition from the politician Adlai Stevenson. A patriot is defined by their tranquil and steady dedication. The key word there is steady. It's not about big, flashy, emotional displays. It's about a lifetime of consistent, selfless dedication to other people and to the country. And then, of course, on the other side, you have the pinhead. Now, this isn't just about someone being a fool. A pinhead is someone whose actions are either, quote, extremely stupid, or they end up hurting other people. And here's the real kicker. They refuse to take responsibility. It's always the blame game, never admitting they were wrong. This slide just lays it out perfectly, using the book's main examples. For the Patriot archetype, O'Reilly points to Tony Snow, the former White House press secretary, who very publicly fought cancer with so much courage, all while still working. Then, for the pinhead, he points to Congressman Barney Frank, who he says refused to take any responsibility for the financial crisis, after overseeing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. You see the contrast? It's all about character and accountability. So now that we've got the definitions down, let's see how this framework was actually used. And yeah, you guessed it, a huge portion of the book is dedicated to grading the biggest political figure of the time, then President Barack Obama. So this leads to the big question, right? The one the book really tries to answer, but it doesn't give you a simple yes or no. Instead, the argument is that, like most leaders, President Obama's record was pretty mixed. He had actions that fell into both categories. And here's that report card right from the book. You had what he called patriotic moments, like when Obama spoke about fatherhood or sent more troops into Afghanistan. But then, on the flip side, you had the pinheaded moments. Things like the decision to hold civilian trials for terrorists, or what O'Reilly called a squeamish policy on border security. Okay, let's zoom in on a really critical time period here, the end of 2009. A whole bunch of stuff happened very quickly, and this became the real testing ground for O'Reilly's entire framework when it came to the presidency. Just look at this timeline. It's just one thing after another. In only 3 months, you have the White House declaring a war on a news network. You have the terrible Fort Hood terror attack, then the really controversial announcement about a civilian trial for KSM, and finally, the underwear bomber on Christmas Day. The book analyzes the administration's reactions to every single one of these. For O'Reilly, though, the real tipping point was that decision to try KSM in a New York City court. He called it flat-out stupid, and, as you can see, one of the most absurd decisions he'd ever seen. In the world of the book, this was it. This was the ultimate pinhead moment, an action that he framed as just damaging to the country. And that brings us to the final point. The book argues that this whole debate was about more than just specific policies. It was really about something deeper: President Obama's fundamental leadership style. This slide captures this idea perfectly. O'Reilly called it his fire versus ice theory. He argues that the traditional American way is fire. It's emotional, it makes quick judgments about right and wrong, and it wants to see action against the bad guys. But Obama's style, he said, was ice, cool, detached, technical, always trying to rise above the emotion of the moment. The book basically says that this clash of styles was the real source of all that political tension. And all of that leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? Was this whole Pinheads and Patriots framework just a product of that specific time in 2010? Or does this simple black and white way of judging people by their actions, does it actually reflect a timeless way that we all, maybe even today, evaluate our leaders? It's definitely something to think about.